One key topic for the peace talks in Doha is the status of Afghan women's rights. In an interview with VOA, the Taliban's political office spokesperson in Qatar, Mohammad Naim, explained the group's stance.
I must say that we have our own country, our own nation, and our own values. We cannot bring the values of other societies and impose them on our society. For example, we cannot justify women's rights on the basis of the values that exist in the United States, in Europe, and in other countries. Our nation does not want this at all. Our nation is Muslim.
Others say over the past 2 decades, Afghanistan's women have preserved their Islamic values while gaining new rights and opportunities.
No Afghan woman has lost her Islamic values. Every Afghan woman wants to lead her daily life, government work, and social, cultural, and political work based on Islamic and Afghan cultural values.
Washington's position on the issue remains firm, says U.S. Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation Zalmay Khalilzad, who briefed American lawmakers this month.
I want to assure you that human rights, women's rights, the rights of minorities and children, indeed all citizens of Afghanistan, but particularly women, is of the highest importance to the United States.
When they were last in power, the Taliban banned television and tightly controlled most radio. After their exit in 2001, Afghan media flourished as tens of television stations and hundreds of radio stations launched. Many journalists now worry speech rights could be in jeopardy.
Freedom of expression does not mean that someone should come in and insult the values of the nation. This is not acceptable in the United States, in Europe, or anywhere else.
The Afghan Journalist Safety Committee says the government should defend the gains the country has made toward establishing a free press.
The government prides itself on free reporting and free media. If it hurts these freedoms itself, I don't think it would have a strong argument with its rival in talks.
Civilians have paid a terrible price in Afghanistan's war. A United Nations report estimated in 2019 that more than 100,000 civilians had been killed or wounded. The Taliban maintain they have tried to avoid the casualties, even though for years the group has carried out suicide bomb attacks in densely populated markets and cities.
Everyone's interpretation is their own interpretation. The war here is not about civilian casualties. Of course, war has casualties everywhere in the world. We try very hard not to have civilian casualties. That is why we have formed a commission in our organization called the Civil Loss Prevention Commission. Civilian losses on our part are very limited.
Deputy spokesperson of Afghanistan's Defense Ministry, Fawad Minapal, disagrees.
In fact, it was the Taliban who increased the rate of violence and war in Afghanistan. The people of Afghanistan know that the Taliban have stepped up their terrorist attacks, from suicide attacks to bombings, and every day sacrificing the Afghan people.
Despite many differences, the Taliban are optimistic about a peace deal.
We hope that the negotiations will reach a conclusion. We are not disappointed. We hope to reach a conclusion as we reach an agreement with the Americans. It may take time. There may be problems, but we are hopeful.
The peace talks in Doha have no end date, and it remains unclear if they will come to a resolution. In the meantime, the fighting continues in Afghanistan. For Najiba Khalil in Washington, D.C., Bejan Hamdard, VOA News.